Okay, let's jump right in. If you've ever, picked up a golf club, you get the obsession, the swing,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe nothing causes more head scratching, more hours on the range than swing path. It's got to be one of the most talked about things in golf.
Absolutely fundamental. Crucial.
So today, our mission really is to dig into what's really driving that path, the stuff you don't always see, and especially how this new 3D tech is changing the game, giving us insights we just never had before.
It's incredible, honestly. You look at the data from guys like Tiger, Rahm, Rory, and you see things, nuances in how they generate those shots.
Yeah.
It's not just the big moves. We're typing tiny adjustments, hidden mechanics that shape everything. This deep dive, it's kind of a shortcut to getting really smart about the swing, uncovering stuff most golfers, frankly, just don't think about.
It really does feel like pulling back the curtain. And for me, diving into this, one of the big surprises was aim. You think, okay, point your feet, point the
Yeah,
club.
pretty simple.
But it's way more dynamic than that, isn't it? It actually influences the swing itself in a massive way.
Totally. We think of aim as just, setting your direction. But pros, they subtly tweak their stance all the time to shape shots. They're not necessarily overhauling their whole swing.
Okay.
And here's the really wild part. Say you aim way out to the right,
Hmm.
like way right. What often
Wow,
happens?
you hit it right.
Sometimes. But often, your body instinctively knows that's not the target.
Yeah.
So it corrects. It makes you swing more uh, leftward to try and bring that ball back online.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's like this built-in correction system. Your body's trying to fix it before you even swing. So that initial aim, it's not just static, it's actively like setting the stage for the path your swing wants to take.
So all those times I'm laser focused on perfect alignment. My body might be getting a totally different message. That actually explains a lot.
Cool.
My slice suddenly makes more sense.
Huh, it could be. It's like your brain sets a destination and your body tries to plot the course.
Okay, mind blown already. Let's talk about another fundamental that has this huge ripple effect. The grip. Again, we know it's important. Hands on the club.
Standard stuff.
But the sources say it affects way more elbows, shoulders, side bend, even how the shaft leans. How does that work?
Yeah, the grip's reach is profound. It connects all these dots. So let's take a weaker grip, okay? Often that leads to the trail elbow flaring out a bit away from the body.
Okay.
And your shoulders tend to sit more open relative to the target line. You get less side bend at address, put it all together, and you often see what's called a K posture.
K posture. Like the letter K.
Exactly. Sort of visualize your lead leg and torso forming a subtle K. And that whole setup, it naturally makes it easier to swing in the way that produces a fade.
That's fascinating. So a weak grip encourages that K shape, which encourages a fade.
Mhm.
Are golfers doing this on purpose, or is it just how they naturally hold it? And what about the opposite, a strong grip?
It can be both. Some players adjust consciously for shot shape. Others just have a natural preference. But the point is, this tiny hand adjustment fundamentally changes your body's blueprint for the swing.
Right.
Now, contrast that with a stronger grip. What happens? The trail elbow tends to stay more tucked in, closer to your side.
Hmm.
Your shoulders will likely be more closed, pointing more right of the target for a righty, and you'll generally have more side bend. This creates more of a T posture.
Okay, T posture this time.
Yeah, think of your upper body forming more of a T, and this setup, it makes it easier to swing in a way that favors a draw. So see, grip isn't just hands, it's the starting point for a whole chain reaction in your body.
Aim sets the intention, grip sets the posture. Amazing. Okay, so we've hit static elements. What about something really dynamic? The 3D data shows something called the sway gap is really important for power. What exactly is that?
Good question. The sway gap is basically the difference in how much your pelvis moves laterally side to side compared to how much your chest moves laterally during the swing.
Okay, pelvis versus chest side movement.
Exactly. And it's not a fixed number. It changes.
Yeah.
You measure it at address, top of the backswing, in transition, right down to impact.
And why does it matter so much?
Huge significance.
Right.
Because if you can maintain, or even better, dynamically increase that gap, meaning your hips lead the lateral movement more than your chest, especially coming into the ball,
Yeah.
that's a massive key for generating power. It helps sequence the swing correctly. Think of it like storing and releasing energy more athletically. Better sequence, more speed.
That sounds like the secret sauce. But, for the average golfer hearing this, isn't there a danger of trying too hard, getting too mechanical, maybe creating more tension, trying to manage this sway gap?
That is a fantastic point, and it leads us right into the next big thing.
Hmm.
Stiffness, the silent killer of a good golf swing.
Right.
Whether it's actual physical tension or just mentally trying to control every single piece of the swing.
Yeah.
Stiffness just destroys fluidity. And when you lose fluidity, you lose power. Simple as that.
So how do you fight that if trying harder makes it worse?
Yeah, it's counterintuitive. The sources suggest focusing on rhythm and flow. Drills can help, like just making continuous swings without stopping, back and forth, feeling the momentum.
Like a practice drill.
Exactly. Or hitting several balls in a row without resetting your stance completely. Just step, swing, almost like a dance. It sounds basic, but it helps you let go of that conscious control and rediscover, the feel of the club head and natural movement.
I like that. Just flow. Okay, let's zoom in on a specific body part, the trail arm. How critical is that arm to the swing path?
Oh, massively important.
Hmm.
How your trail arm works directly shapes the path. Take a tucked trail elbow, you often hear about this, keeping it close.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's called an undergrip style influence.
Mm-hmm.
That tends to shallow out the swing plane, makes the club approach the ball from more inside. That promotes a path moving out to the right, which, as we know, helps produce a fade.
Okay, tucked elbow, shallower, path right, fade.
Got it. Now, flip that. An elbow that works more outward, away from the body, sometimes called a cover grip influence. What does that do?
The opposite.
Usually, yeah. It tends to steepen the swing plane, brings the club down more from the outside, shifting the path more to the left, and that kind of path favors a draw.
It's incredible how these small positional things have such predictable outcomes on path and shot shape. It really is a system.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And speaking of subtle indicators, pelvis rotation is another one the 3D systems pick up really well. It can tell you a lot about a player's natural tendencies.
How so?
There's a specific point in the swing when the amount of side bend in your pelvis becomes zero relative to how much your pelvis is rotated.
Okay, that sounds technical.
It is a bit. But what the data shows is that when the 0 point happens, often correlates very strongly with whether a player naturally hits, fades, or draws. It's about the sequencing, these tiny differences in timing.
Wow.
Things you just couldn't see accurately before 3D. It shows their inherent pattern, why they might find one shot shape easier than another.
It really hammers home that it's not just the big, obvious stuff. Tiny things matter, these micro adjustments. Can you give some more examples, things maybe we overlook?
Definitely. Think about your exact ball position, forward, back, middle. How wide is your stance? Even how much you flare your feet outwards or inwards.
Right, foot flare too.
Yeah. For instance, setting up with a narrower stance, what might that do? It might limit how much you can shift laterally, side to side.
Less sway.
Potentially, yes. But it might actually increase how much you rotate your body. And maybe that increased rotation gives you more control. See, these small tweaks have knock-on effects, a domino effect on the whole motion. 3D helps quantify exactly what those effects are for an individual.
Okay, this is brilliant. Let's clarify some key terms now because they get thrown around a lot. Swing path versus club path, same thing.
Great question. Nope, they're different, and the difference is crucial. Swing path really refers to the direction your body is moving. Think center of mass, or maybe your hands. Club path is specifically the direction the club head is moving at impact.
Body direction versus club head direction.
Okay.
And why that matters is because the relationship between that club path and where the club face is pointing at impact, that's the magic formula. That dictates where the ball starts and how it curves.
The holy grail.
Kinda. So let's break down. Imagine your club path is moving, say, 5 degrees to the right of your target line.
Okay, path right.
If your club face is aimed exactly where the path is going 5 degrees right, the ball will start right and go straight. That's a push.
Push. Got it.
Now, same path, 5 degrees right. But what if your club face is aimed a little left of that path, say only 2 degrees right, or even square to the target? That face is closed relative to the path. Path right, face closed to path, boom, that's your fade. The ball starts near where the face is pointing and curves away from the path.
Ah, okay. Path right, face left of path equals fade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the opposite for a draw. Path going left, face aimed right of the path, or open to the path, that creates the draw shape. Starts rightish, curves left. That clicks. Path and face relationship is key.
What about attack angle? Where does that fit in?
Attack angle is the up or down part. It's the vertical angle the club head is moving at as it hits the ball. Are you hitting down on it, level, or slightly up?
Okay, vertical motion.
Right. And it affects launch and spin. A steeper, more downward attack angle generally launches the ball lower and puts more backspin on it. Think wedge shots.
Makes sense.
A shallower or even upward attack angle, like with a driver, launches the ball higher and usually with less spin. So golfers adjust this angle constantly, depending on the club, the lie, the shot they want to hit. High and soft, low and piercing.
So many variables, which I guess leads us to a really important conclusion from all this data.
Yeah,
There's no single perfect swing out there, is there?
absolutely not. That's probably the biggest takeaway. Why force yourself into a box that doesn't fit?
Right.
You look at the best players. Some generate massive power using separation, big difference between lower body rotation and upper body rotation. That X factor.
Others are more fluid, almost swinging everything together, generating speed through incredible rhythm and release. Both work. Both can win majors.
So the goal isn't copying Rory or Tiger exactly.
No. The goal is finding your own dynamic matchups, finding movement patterns that work with your body, your flexibility, your natural tendencies, not against them. Understand your patterns, then build a swing that's powerful, repeatable, and importantly, authentic to you.
That's really empowering. Stop chasing ghosts and figure out what works for you.
Exactly. That's how you unlock your actual potential.
And leveraging this data, the 3D insights we've been talking about, that's the smart way to practice now, isn't it? It helps you optimize what you naturally do well.
Precisely. It guides you towards making your natural strengths even stronger. Smarter practice, real improvement.
What a journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to recap this deep dive, we started with aim, realizing it's not just static, it actually primes your body for a certain swing direction.
Then the grip, how it triggers this whole chain reaction affecting elbows, shoulders, posture, the K posture for fades, T posture for draws.
We hit the dynamic stuff too, that crucial sway gap between pelvis and chest movement, key for power and sequencing, and the enemy, stiffness. How flow is everything.
Yeah, and how the trail arm position dictates path tucked for fades, outward for draws. Even subtle pelvis rotation timing revealing natural faded draw tendencies.
Plus all those micro adjustments, ball positions, stance width, foot flare, all having real impact, highlighted by 3D data.
And we clarified those key terms. Swing path, body, versus club path, club head, and how club path plus face angle dictates ball flight, plus attack angle for trajectory control.
Leading to the big idea, forget the one perfect swing. It's about understanding your body, your tendencies.
Finding your dynamic matchups, building an authentic, repeatable swing that works for you. That's the path to better golf.
So for everyone listening, as you think about your own game, what's jumping at, maybe instead of trying to force that move you saw on YouTube,
Yeah,
what's your body already telling you? What feels natural, even if it's not textbook?
that's the question.
And here's a final thought to chew on. If the best improvements in golf often come from understanding and working with your unique patterns, where else in life might you benefit from embracing your natural tendencies instead of fighting against some external ideal? Something to think about. Happy golfing.